Breakdown of the 10th tradition of Alcoholics Anonymous. No controversies. It has no opinion about matters outside its activities, therefore, its name should never be mixed in public controversies. Alcoholics Anonymous, without a doubt, has given something to talk about on several occasions in sensationalist newspapers or news, which at times have gotten us into various controversies. Even the ignorance and misinformation that people have about Alcoholics Anonymous have led to stereotyping, dogmatizing, confusing, and judging the work that we do. Even many people from various currents that have derived from this program have come to believe that they are doubles, and this error and stain is almost impossible many times to remove. Alcoholics Anonymous has nothing to do with currents like fourth and fifth step, 24-hour groups, or the so-called annexes or rehabilitation centers, to mention a few. These types of entities only work our program in their own way, and we respect their way of working as long as they do not mix the logo and the name of Alcoholics Anonymous, because this is what has distorted the information of our cherished community. Despite this, our community has never publicly taken sides in any public controversy in this turbulent world. However, this has been an acquired virtue. We have no opinion about entities or currents derived from the recovery program. We do not enter into public controversies which, far from doing us good, could cause us severe problems with society and with ourselves. We have known since the very beginning that, whatever the provocation, we must never take sides publicly in any type of controversy or activity, no matter how noble it may be. History has presented us as nations and groups entangled in conflicts that ultimately ended up destroyed for having originated in controversies or for having fallen into the temptation to participate in them. The Alcoholics Anonymous community does not try to give any point of view or opinion regarding situations that do not involve our primary objective, which is to convey the message through information to the public and experiences through which prospects who carry this disease can come to identify themselves. It is very important to understand this aspect, as on many occasions the media, whether on radio, television, and currently on the internet, ask us leading questions when we go to give some type of information. Let us remember that we cannot give an opinion on anything else or any situation other than alcoholism. However, this topic also has its limitations, as we will also refrain from addressing the topic from a medical or religious point of view, for the obvious reasons that alcoholics are neither doctors nor clinicians to address the topic from these types of perspectives that require professionalism. We, the ones who belong to Alcoholics Anonymous, will only share the topics that we know and the method that we use to be able to recover from this terrible disease, such as breaking down and analyzing topics of who is an alcoholic, what is alcoholism, the 5 basic concepts, the breakdown of the 24 hours, the meeting with friends, among other types of topics, which have helped us to recover or abstain from the first drink. We believe that the survival and growth of Alcoholics Anonymous are much more important than the influence that we could collectively have in favor of any other cause, since the recovery from alcoholism means for us life itself. It is imperative that we maintain our means of survival in its full strength. Despite this, let us remember that like any type of society, we can have our own differences and quarrels, which fortunately are addressed within our groups, areas, or districts. so that no public controversy arises. That is to say, let us put an example to clarify this section. Let us suppose that within the group there are two different opinions regarding the topic of abortion. One is in favor and the other against. On one hand, one mentions that within the laws of life it is not fair for abortion to be legalized, and on the other hand, we have a healthy individual who mentions that abortion must be legitimate, since each person has the right to decide what to do with their body. This discussion can even become heated, but this only reaches the point of resolving it among themselves, and nothing more happens than the controversy and the back and forth of the opinions of these friends. Up to this point, it could be considered acceptable, since, as it could have been seen, there can be several topics that are touched upon, such as the type of government we have as a country, national economic problems, or public health issues. Where this tradition would be violated is if, as a group, district, or area, we went out to air to society any type of position we have regarding a topic, or simply make public a discussion where the image of Alcoholics Anonymous as a whole will evidently be damaged or tarnished. It is there where the danger lies in having an opinion on unrelated objective matters. Since our mission is not to educate, moralize, or say what is good and what is bad in this society. It is rather to contribute our small knowledge that has helped us to stop drinking, consuming, or suffering. It is worth mentioning that they almost always had to do with ways to make Alcoholics Anonymous effective, how to do the greatest good for the greatest number of alcoholics possible. The Washingtonian Society, a movement of alcoholics that started in Baltimore a century ago, was close to finding the solution to alcoholism. At first, the society was composed exclusively of alcoholics who tried to help each other. The first members saw that they should dedicate themselves to this sole purpose. In many aspects, the Washingtonians were similar to the doubles of now. They came to have more than 100,000 members. If they had been left in peace and had stuck to their sole objective, they might have found the whole solution, but that did not happen. The Washingtonians allowed politicians and reformers, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, to take advantage of the society for their own ends. For example, at that time, the abolition of slavery was a hot political issue. Soon, the speakers of the Washington movement no longer took a public and passionate stand on this controversy. Perhaps the society could have emerged unscathed from this controversy of the abolition of slavery. But once it set out to reform the drinking habits of Americans, its days were numbered. The Washingtonians became crusaders of temperance, and within a few years completely lost their effectiveness in helping alcoholics. Alcoholics Anonymous has not thrown away the lesson learned from the Washingtonians. In contemplating the ruins of this movement, the pioneering members of Alcoholics Anonymous decided to keep our society out of all kinds of public controversy. In this way, the cornerstone of the 10th tradition was laid. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Therefore, its name should never be mixed up in public controversies. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this Alcoholics Anonymous audiobook. We hope these words have brought you reflection, strength, and hope on your journey. Remember, recovery is a path we walk one day at a time, and no one has to walk it alone. If this audiobook meant something to you, Please support the channel by subscribing so you can receive more content like this. Don't forget to give this video a like and share it with someone who might need to hear this message today. Your support helps carry this message of hope to others who are still suffering. Thank you for listening, and keep coming back.